welcome to Worldwide Truth Foundation, where truth is not just something you discover, it is something you align with, something you think from, something that transforms not only your spirit but your mind, your perception, and your daily life. If you have walked this journey, then you already understand. This has never been about information. It has been about transformation. From the moment you chose truth, to the moment you were examined, to the moment you confronted illusion, to the moment you removed mixture, to the moment you crossed over, to the stillness, to the awakening, to the manifestation, to becoming established, you have come far. But now you arrive at a place that many overlook, a place that determines whether awakening will remain or fade. This is 19 Nisan, the renewing of the mind. And here is the truth that must be understood clearly. You can be awakened in spirit and still limited in your mind. You can see truth clearly and still think incorrectly. You can experience deep clarity and still live in old patterns. And this is where many people struggle. They encounter truth but cannot sustain it. They see clearly but continue thinking from limitation. They awaken but still react from fear. And the reason is simple. The mind has not yet aligned with what the spirit now knows, because the scriptures reveal something powerful. Transformation does not stop at awakening. It continues through the renewing of the mind. And this reveals a hidden mystery. Awakening can happen in a moment, but mental transformation is a process. Why? Because your mind is not empty. It is a system built over time through repetition, through experience, through conditioning, through everything you have seen, heard, and believed before truth was revealed. So even after awakening, your mind continues to replay old thoughts. It continues to reinforce old beliefs. It continues to produce old reactions. And this creates an invisible conflict within you. Your spirit knows truth, but your mind remembers illusion. And this tension is not failure, it is transition. It is the space between who you were and who you now are becoming. But here is the law that must be understood. You cannot live a new life with an old mindset. No matter how awakened you are, if your thinking remains the same, your actions will follow old patterns. Your reactions will repeat old cycles. Your reality will reflect what you have not yet changed in your mind. And this is why renewal is necessary. Because awakening reveals truth, but renewal installs it, and this requires intentionality. Because there are specific areas that must change. The first is your thought patterns. Old patterns may still say, I am limited, I am not ready, I am afraid, I cannot do this. These thoughts may still arise, but they are no longer truth, and now they must be confronted, not accepted, not entertained, but brought into alignment. The second is your internal dialogue. The voice within you must change, because what you say internally shapes how you live externally. If your inner voice speaks fear, your life will reflect hesitation. If your inner voice speaks limitation, your life will reflect restriction. But when your inner voice aligns with truth, your life begins to follow that alignment. The third is your perception. Because reality is not only what you see, it is how you interpret what you see. Two people can face the same situation and experience completely different realities. Why? Because perception shapes experience. And now your perception must align with truth. You must begin to see differently, not through fear, but through awareness. Not through limitation, but through identity, because this is the shift that must happen. Before, you thought from fear. You reacted from conditioning. You lived from limitation. But now you think from identity. You think as one aligned with Yahweh. You think from truth. You think from awareness. And this becomes your new way of living. But here's why many people remain stuck. They awaken, but they never train their mind. So they go back to old habits, back to old thinking, back to old cycles. Not because truth is weak, but because their thinking has not changed. And this is why renewal must be intentional. It is not automatic. It is a process, a daily one. First, awareness. You recognize the thoughts that are not aligned. You become conscious of what is happening in your mind. Second, interruption. You do not allow those thoughts to continue. You stop them. You refuse to entertain what is not true. Third, replacement. You install truth in place of the lie. You speak truth. You think truth. You align your mind intentionally. Fourth, repetition. Because truth must be reinforced daily, not occasionally, not emotionally, but consistently. Because consistency creates transformation. And this is the posture required in this stage. Not intensity, not emotional highs, but daily alignment. Steady, consistent, intentional. So take a moment right now and ask yourself, what thought is controlling me right now? Is this thought aligned with truth? What is the truth I must replace it with? And do not just think it, declare it internally, because this is the moment where your mind begins to align with your awakening. And this is the prophetic insight of this day. This is where Yahweh brings your mind into agreement with truth, so that your thoughts reflect clarity, your actions reflect alignment, and your life becomes consistent. Because now you are no longer controlled by old patterns. You are no longer defined by past thinking. You are no longer limited by conditioning. You are being rewired into truth. And this is where everything changes. Because when your mind aligns, your life follows. So speak this now with intention. My mind is renewed and aligned with truth. I reject every false thought and limiting belief. I think from identity, not fear. My thoughts reflect clarity, truth, and awareness. I walk in a renewed mind, fully aligned with Yahweh. Let that settle within you, because this is the alignment point. This is where awakening becomes sustainable. This is where truth becomes consistent. This is where your life begins to reflect what you now know. And this is the final truth of this day. When your mind agrees with truth, your life can finally reflect it. And if this message brought clarity to your thinking, don't let it stop here. Take a moment and comment below. What thought are you choosing to replace today? Share this with someone who is ready to move from awakening into true transformation. And make sure you subscribe to Worldwide Truth Foundation so you can continue this journey of alignment, clarity, and truth with us. Thank you for choosing truth. Thank you for renewing your mind. And thank you for becoming aligned from within. Stay aware, stay aligned, stay intentional. Because the moment your mind agrees with truth is the moment your life begins to reflect it. Amen.